Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My life as a homeless. That's what the title is. That's what this video will be about. Two reasons that made me want to do this video and to share my experience is because I've been working a lot with the homeless. I've been interviewing them, just taking the time to listen to their stories. Nobody wakes up and says, I feel like being a homeless today, or I want to be a drug addict today, or I want to be an alcoholic today. We wake up, we're born innocent. And then somewhere along life, it takes us down different paths. Some bad choices that we make, some mistakes that we make, things that put us in that situation. So you just never know what's on the story, and you should never judge. And I've been there, so I do care, and I know what it's like. So I wanted to talk to them and hear their stories, which I did that around Christmas time. I also like to feed the homeless. I will never, ever give money because I tried that in the beginning years ago. And then I had people waiting outside of my job by the cars, expecting, almost demanding to have money. And I don't really think it helps. I think you should feed them because that's mainly what they need, is to be fed, a nice meal, a pair of socks, a blanket, a jacket, things that can help them survive. And so I lost my train of thought. Anyway, so, and around Christmas time and Thanksgiving is when I really go full force, and I do Christmas baskets, which I have a video of. Please go back and check that out if you haven't already. And I put face cloth in there. I put a pair of gloves because it's really cold here in the town that we live in. Snacks, permanent cup where they can reusable cup, I should say, juice flavored packets, a bottled water, treats for the dogs. A lot of them are with dogs, and we have dogs, so we love animals. Just everything I could think of that they could use. And same thing for Thanksgiving. I like to feed them a hot meal if possible, or give them something that they can eat, that they don't have to struggle too much with, but is real comforting. And so things like that. The second reason is I've been watching these van lifing videos. If you haven't watched them, there are tons of them. Choose whatever one you want. My favorite is Susie Cruz, Mac and Lee, Eamon and Beck. Those are like my three favorites. These are people who have either live in their car or live in a van and have converted it to like a really mini home. They make it really comfortable, really happy. They travel the world. They don't have to live in their cars. They don't have to live in a van at all. They have families. They have situations where they could get money. They had homes, apartments. They chose this lifestyle because they just were tired of just staying in one home and just paying the rent, paying mortgage, paying all this stuff. They wanted to travel the world, but yet feel at home. So this is a way that they felt like they could travel the world, and all they had to invest in is gas and food. And it's much less than living in a regular home. And so I was curious because I thought these people, the first person I watched was a person who lived in their car. And I thought, oh my God, but you're on YouTube. Not everybody that on YouTube makes money. I don't make money on YouTube because I don't have enough views or subscribers. And I've been on YouTube 3 years. I know my content is good, but I think my hold back was the editing. I don't have an editing process. I just barely got a basic one, and I'm excited because I'm learning it and I'm using it, but I have a long way to go. But I have all these plans of investing in lighting and investing in editing software and stuff like that. So I'm going to be there. But right now I'm just doing it from my heart because it's my passion. And I just want to share my life and my journey and my experiences with all of you. So I'm just doing it because it's my passion. It's my heart. I started off with beauty because I'm a licensed cosmetologist. So I'm an expert. I'm educated in beauty, hair, nails, makeup, all of that. And so it became blog. After that, I also shared blogging. Of course, I go full force with autism, everything that me and my family, events that we do, experiences that we have, just everything about me and my family's life. Of course, everybody, there's things that you hold sacred that you don't share with everybody, that I have those pieces too. But I'm an open book. I tell it like it is. So, I don't fear anything. So I started watching these van life videos, and I thought, oh my God, they have to make money. They have tons of subscribers. I mean, thousands and thousands of subscribers, views like crazy. You make money. Why would you have to live in your car? But then as I started to watch the videos, which I've watched a ton, I understood that this was a life choice. And if I was single, I would do it. I would totally do it. Or with one kid, I would do it. But I'm not. We're a family of 5. Even though my daughter's married, she's still considered a huge part of this family. And it's like she lives here and there. So I love it. You know, anything we do, we'll say, oh, she's married, she's got her own life. No. We include her in every event and everything we do, say, participate in, just whatever. She's still, her heart and her life is here with us, which I love. So yeah, so it wouldn't work for us. We would almost have to have an RV, and an RV probably wouldn't be big enough. And then with my son being autistic, he loves his room, he loves his space. So it just wouldn't work. But if I was single, had 1 kid, 2 at the most, I think it would work. And I would love to do it because I would love to travel and see the world. And I don't see any other way but to do it like that. So I was intrigued and I loved it. And I just love everything about it. And so because it wasn't that they had to be in these vans or in these cars, it was a life choice. I kind of related to that because when I was homeless, I didn't have to be homeless. I had parents that were still alive, and I come from a family of money, you know, especially with my parents. I have a lot of siblings. You know, we're not rich by any means, but they've been very successful in their careers. They've owned their homes, and, you know, they've been very good about, you know, owning their home and this being their life thing, and they have nice cars and stuff like that. You know, they're happy, they're at peace. And so, I didn't have to be homeless. I chose to be homeless, but there was a good reason. Like I said, my parents were still alive. They had money. I could have definitely had a place to go because my parents would support me at any age for any reason. I'm like that with my children. So, you know, I did have a place to live. I could have had financial support. I could have had emotional support. I could have had all of this. But in my situation particularly, I had an emotional tragedy happen to me. Something dear at that time was taken from me illegally and immorally. That's just the bottom line. Even though there was no court battle or none of that. I mean, it started off kind of like that. But, you know, money talks in this world, and for whatever reason, you know, it's funny how your life takes a turn and how it ends up. I'm a very happy person today, very at peace. I have a family that I love dearly, that loves me unconditionally. I don't have to explain or prove anything to them. We have each other's back. We go to church. We're spiritual. We're loyal to each other, dedicated to each other. I mean, we have our basic needs. We have food on the table. We have a place to live. We have our income. You know, we're just very, very blessed, and we don't have a lot of money at all. But we're very blessed and very happy and very at peace. And so everything works out for the good. In the moment, we don't see it, but God has a reason for everything, and we just have to believe in Him. At the time, we have a hard time doing that. But once we get there, then we go, oh, that's why you closed that door. That's why you were doing that. You know, no one should hurt. My hurt was deep. My hurt was severe. And the reason why I became homeless was because I felt like I needed to run, that I didn't want my parents' financial help, the emotional help. I didn't want to have to relive the story over again. I didn't want to have to be remembered of the story. I didn't want to ask questions or be asked questions. I didn't want nobody to guide me and help me through it. I felt like I needed to find myself. Like I needed to run and run fast in order to regain my sanity and my peace of mind. And I don't know how else to explain it other than that this was a choice that I had to make. It was the only solution to what I personally needed at that time to overcome this pain, to overcome this emotional pain that almost took my life. And it's really weird because before that, I would have thought I would have leaned on my parents and my family for their emotional support to get me back together and to get me strong and to let me know that I am loved, that I do deserve the best, that I didn't deserve that situation in no form, shape, or fashion, could defend it. Because I've always been a good person. I've always prided myself on being an honest person, a responsible person, a good, loving, giving person. A heart as huge as life, humble, just all those wonderful qualities that you want in yourself. I had that. Of course, I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but it's never intentional or with malice. It's a mistake. And so I didn't deserve none of what happened to me. And so that was my choice. I decided, and my mother was so loving, and she cried with me, and she tried to help me, and she just wanted to make sure that I was in need of nothing, but that wasn't like enough or what I needed at that time. And so I took off. I just one day just got up and took off, left every single thing behind. I just took the clothes on my back, and that was it. No money, no direction of where I was going to go, how I was going to do it, how long I was going to do it for, nothing. So that's how I ended up in street. I didn't go out of state or really out of town. I kind of stayed in the town that I lived in, but I wanted just my own space and to get my life back. And so I was never the type of homeless that had the signs, I need food, I need money, help me, I need to get here, there. I wasn't that type of homeless. I wanted to work for whatever I got. I wanted to learn survival skills. I wanted to learn how to get myself back up. And so what I would do is I started off going to the gas stations and pumping gas and asking people, can I pump your gas for a little change? Can I wash your windows with those wipers that they have in the gas stations? Now it's more dangerous than back then. Now people, because homeless is so much, people are very judgmental. People are like, don't trust. So it would probably be harder today than it was. I'm talking 1988. So I'm talking, 31 years ago? 30 years ago. 88, 98, 2008, 2018, 30 years ago to be exact. And so, people would look at me and they like, sure, because I wasn't asking for money. I wanted to do something in exchange. And so they would just look at me. They're like, you don't look like you belong here. Something must have happened to you to be here. And they were right. But because I also didn't trust people, I was like, I don't want to talk about it, but thank you for seeing that in me. And so they saw me so nice and so respectful. So yeah, that's kind of how I got money every day and throughout the day. And then I was walking down one of the streets one day and I saw a crowd of people and I said, what's going on here? And so they said, oh, you donate plasma, but you can only do it every other day. At this facility, it's Tuesday and Thursday, or you would do it Wednesday and Friday. The first day you donate plasma is $15. When you come back on Thursday, it would be $8. So I thought, and you could do that every week. And I thought, oh my God, I didn't even know what plasma was. I'm like, what is that? They're like, it's something out of the blood, and then they put your blood back in. I don't even know if I'm still explaining right. But they, get all your information, and they check you out, make sure you don't have any diseases or anything. So that was my form of income right there. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but it was a lot, because I was able, when I made that money, I had a plan. I had an organized plan. So I thought, okay, when I get my $15, I'm going to spend at least the first $5 on toiletries, because I was always a person who took a shower 2-3 times a day since I was little, and to this day it hasn't changed. And so I thought, I'm not going to probably be able to do that, but at least I'm going to clean up once a day. And so I thought, I'm going to spend the first $5. I'm going to go to, we didn't have a Dollar Tree or dollar store back then, but we did have things like 99-cent, where you could get a lot of stuff for 99 cents or 2 for $1, stuff like that. So I thought I'm going to spend at least the first $5 on toiletries. So the first thing I got me was a toothpaste, toothbrush, a brush, and a comb for my hair. I got me a bar soap. I got me 2 face cloths, one to wash and one to dry with, where it wasn't so big but enough to get the job done. And what else did I get? Little shampoos and conditioners, because I can afford the big ones. But I wanted the mini ones because they can fit in my bag. And at first I had a Ziploc bag. And so then the rest I spent on food, and I would find places where I could get lots of food for my money's worth. And so I found this Chinese store where you can get a package of fresh buns, like sandwich type buns. And So you could get this 6-pack of buns. They were fresh, and I would get them right in the morning, and I would get like $1, $2 worth of salami, $1 worth of cheese, and I would take a little bit of the middle out, eat it because it was so soft and fresh, and then stick my salami and cheese in there, and I would at least make it last me 2 days. And that was one of the places I would eat. And then I started noticing that people, not that people would go, but as I would walk the streets, and I lived in abandoned cars, I lived under apartment buildings, wherever I could find a little corner, a little spot where I wasn't seen, but I was safe. And so I wish I had the van lifing back then, where I had an old car that was mine that I could live in. That would have been perfect. But I never thought of that. I left my car and everything behind. Never thought about that. And so that's where I lived. Abandoned cars, under apartment buildings, abandoned houses, any place I could find where I could try to keep warm and be safe and out of the view. And so then when I got, so as I'm walking down the streets, I would learn what different buildings were, where the churches were, because I knew churches were always there to help people. And so I found this one church that would give you a hot meal and then would give you a bag of goods that you could eat throughout the day that you didn't need a can opener for. And then if you needed a can opener, they would be happy to give you, but instant stuff that you can eat. And so I found one church that did that would give you a hot lunch meal. And so I looked forward to that every day. And then I found, there was a place on 14th Avenue in Oakland, like going towards Highland. People that live in Oakland would know what I'm talking about. If you would give them a penny, a nickel, a dime, a quarter, $1, whatever you can afford to give them, they would give you like a bag or two of groceries. And it was stuff that you didn't have to cook, that you could instantly eat. And so I would do that. I would sacrifice a nickel, dime, quarter, $1 if I could, if I had it at times, and would put it there for other people. And so that's how I would survive. So I had the Chinese store that I would get from my plasma money. And then I had the churches that would give me a hot meal. And then I had that office on 14th Avenue in Oakland. And then I found, at the different seniors citizens, and they were Native American senior citizens as well, they would offer you a breakfast, but you had to be there like by 7 o'clock, and first come, first serve. And then they would give you a bag lunch for lunchtime, but you had to be there on time. So then I learned of those places. So that added to my list. And then they also said once a week, we open like cafeteria tables and we lay out clothing, shoes, purses, accessories, anything you could think of that we have that are donated. We lay it out and you could get some items. Most of them were for free. Sometimes it depended on what it was. They would tell you, can you donate $1? But it was just kind of for the homeless. So they really didn't charge. If you wanted to donate and you were able to, that was great. So I remember finding out what day, because it was once a week and I made sure I was on time. And I found me a good jacket. I wish I had a camera back then. It was long, kind of almost to my knees, but it was soft. It was almost like a knitting, but not a different kind of knitting. It was like, had purplish and greenish colors. It was so warm, but not too overwhelming. I remember getting that. I remember finding a pair of sandals, which were hard because I wear a size 11. I think back then I actually wore a 10. I found me a pair of sandals and a pair of tennis shoes. Simple, those cheap kind of tennis shoes, but did the job. My nose always runs every time I do a video. It pisses me off. So, yeah. And then I found me some clothing, but I wanted light, small clothing because I was skinny back then. I wasn't the big person that I am now. I was really super skinny. I weighed like 119 around that time. No stomach, all that good stuff. And so I found me like 3 blouses, a skirt, a shirt, and some pants. I think they were jeans. I really don't remember, but they are sweats. I think they were sweats. And I found a backpack. I thought, okay, I'm not going to carry this in Ziploc bags. So I didn't want a real big, bulky backpack, but I found a real kind of feminine, soft a flexible backpack. So I would fold the shirts up really thin, and because I was skinny, I could fold them up. It didn't take much space at all. It was like a mini kind of skirt that was really soft and stretchy. So I was able to roll them up and put them in there, and I was able to fit my Ziploc bag that had my toiletries in there, my brush, my comb, any food that I might have for the day could fit in there. And so then I also found a side bag purse. It was a beigeish brownish side bag purse, and I said that's perfect because I can put it over my side, which I'm wearing now, and not that one, but now I'm having to do side bags, and that's a whole nother story because of my shoulders. And so I would put that around me, and then I would have the backpack and could put the side bag, and sometimes I would actually leave the basic main stuff in my side bag. If I found a permanent spot where I could sleep at and it was safe, I would like hide it like a stash in a little corner, and I know when I would come back it would be there if I didn't want to carry both things a day. But every day was different. Some days I didn't mind carrying both. Some days I'm like, I cannot carry this backpack and the side bag, even though both were soft and flexible. But like I said, if I had a permanent place where I knew it was safe and nobody was going to find it, I would leave that there and just carry the essentials. And so in this side bag, I would do a mini Ziploc bag, and I would make sure it had the toothpaste, toothbrush, little shampoo, little conditioner, the bar soap, and my brush. And then I thought, okay, with my next money, because I always love makeup, but I don't want to put too much makeup on. So I bought me an eyeliner, which was the Maybelline red pencils. I don't even know if I have it here to show you. So the eyeliner were these. This is the exact eyeliner that I got. It's by Maybelline. It's still around. I loved it because you can still, it's made for the eyebrows. I wore my natural eyebrows, but I always like to shade in a little bit of color just to kind of tidbit design it, because my eyebrows are really thick, but it needed a little shape, a little coloring. And then I would put the lighter on it. That's what we used to do back in high school, and make it softer and turn it into an eyeliner. So this had versatile use. And then I would also use it as a lip liner, because that's we used to do that strong, bold lip liner. So it had like 3 uses. So it was, I don't know why my thing is getting blurry. And then a foundation, I would buy a small tube that was sort of like this. This is not the same makeup. This is Almay. But it was sort of small like this, not the big bulky bottles. It was something simple like that. For lipstick, I always got a simple lip gloss. And I mostly bought brown neutral tones, because it would go with everything and I didn't have to buy several colors. But it would be this type of lipstick or lip balm. I had lip balms too to keep my lip moist, but it had a little tint in it. So I didn't want the regular lipstick. It could really get messed up and stuff like that. I would buy an eyeshadow compact, just one, and I would make sure it had beige and brown colors because it would go with everything and I could blend it in. So it'd be maybe even smaller than this, maybe like a 4-pan compact, but I would make sure it had your base color, which is like a beige creamy color, and then your browns, and every now and then it might have a slight green, which are colors that I love to wear and it would bring out my eyes. So it'd be maybe like these 4 simple things, and I would carry it in my purse. I didn't have a makeup bag. I don't know why I didn't think of one at the time, but it would be these basic stuff and a mascara, and it would be the Maybelline mascara. So it was 5 things that I would carry. So in that side bag, I could carry my basic essential makeup stuff. And then I would always try to find toilet paper in different bathroom stalls and make sure I always had toilet paper around. In case I went to a bathroom and didn't have toilet paper, I would get a bunch of it and just roll it up and then stick it in my purse. So I would have that. I would buy little simple basic pack of little like toilet kind of things. It wasn't like the wipes we have now, but it was something to that effect. I don't know why. Sorry, trying to get my camera to focus. But yeah, so that's what I would use. And then what I found out is, how am I going to keep clean? So then I noticed that there was another gathering of people, and I'm like, what is this place? They're like, it's the Oakland Adult School. And I'm like, oh, so what classes or what do you do here? And they said, a lot of people come here to learn English as a second language. It's like an hour, 2-hour class. And right now we're on break. And I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, it's the same schedule every day. And they're like, yeah. And I said, well, obviously I speak real good English. I wouldn't need the class. I said, but it's just interesting, to get to know people, and just was curious what it was about. So I was kind of fishing for like, what was the schedule like? what days of the week. And it was Monday through Friday. They had lunch at a certain time, and then they went to class for an hour. Most classes were 2 hours. So then I would kind of look and see, make sure there was no security there. There was no people really roaming the halls back and forth. And so once I scoped the place out, then I thought, this is where I could clean up at. Logically, I wasn't going to be able to take a shower because I love showers, but it was better than nothing. And so I would go in there as they were in class, and I would take one face cloth and I would put my bar soap, nice warm hot water, wash from head to toe. My ears, my eyes, my nose, neck, underarms, the whole arms, fingers, private parts, all head to toe. And then I would rinse the towel out and give myself a rinse. Sometimes I would stay at the sink, but if I felt like I heard somebody, then I would go in the stall, kind of pretend I was using the bathroom. And so then I would re-wash the cloth again, do another soap washing, go rinse it out again, another rinse. Then I would take my dry face cloth and then do the drying from head to toe. Mostly it was in the stall just in case someone came in. So, and of course I couldn't be naked in case somebody came in. So when I went in the stall, I kind of took everything off. And then another thing that I got, as soon as I could is, when I made my first $15 per week with the plasma, I made sure I bought a pack of underwear. And so what I would do is in the stall, I would take everything off head to toe, kind of I would have the mini skirt on and the pull up top, put it back on, go rinse, another soap, come back, take it off, do the same thing, go back in the stall and do the drying. And then I would put a different pair of panties. And with the panties, I would take my bar soap. I would first scrub it and rinse it off there wasn't nastiness because it was so clean, but we do pee and it kind of goes towards the panties. That's why we wear them, for all that good stuff as protection, just whatever. But because I was very clean, I consider myself not overwhelmed. Like, oh my God. So anyway, TMI. So then I would go rinse and scrub them out. Then I would put the bar soap and scrub, and then I would, scrub the soap all over the panties in the different parts, and then rinse the soap off, and then rinse it off. And then I would put it in a Ziploc bag. So when I would get to my permanent spot, I would hang them up and let them air dry. And then I would put a new pair of panties on. So usually panties came in a pack of 5 or 6, I think maybe back that day. So it was kind of enough, pretty much enough for the whole week. And so that was something that I really had to invest in. A bra was another thing. I got a simple bra. And I think I ended up getting another one because I knew I would have to let that one dry and change. So I was organized. I had in my head, what were the essentials as far as toiletries, makeup, clothing, all that stuff. And then I would have my mind organized and like a list. Like I even bought like a little notebook that I could carry in that side bag, and I would have things I need. And so if I needed another toothbrush and my toothbrush wore out, because I was pretty much homeless like 2.5, 3 years almost. And so, every 3 months you should change your toothbrush. So I need another toothbrush, or I lost this, I need another tube of toothpaste. And so I was very organized, very prepared, and I learned so many survival skills and what places were out there that can help you. If you're homeless, you can get help. Nowadays, things are a little bit more scarier, a little bit more tighter, because a lot of people are judgmental. A lot of people just think you're lazy and you should just get a job. There might be a few people out there that could work and don't work, but you can't judge the whole group of people. You have to go out there, talk to them, listen to their stories. Let them know you care. Let them know, even if like me, you haven't I've been in their place, so I know, but maybe you haven't been. Hey, but I like to learn. What can I bring you? Can I bring you soup? Can I bring you a face cloth? Can I bring you a pair of socks? Can I bring you underwear or anything, gloves, or a little shirt? There's dollar shirts at Walmart. They have these tank tops for $1.68. Maybe something like that. They can use a pair of pajamas. Anything that you can afford, anything that your heart is open to giving. Hey, feed them a hot meal. Go through the McDonald's drive-thru, Jack in the Box drive-thru. Bring them a hot meal, especially in the wintertime. If you have some blankets that you're not using, some throws, wash them, pass them out. Any flip-flops, Walmart had flip-flops around autism time, which is in April, for $1. All different colors, all different sizes. Hey, they could use that. Find out what their size is. I'll be back. Just make a plan. Just try to give, even if it's one little item, one little moment of your time. It's very much appreciated. And so there was one part that I forgot to add, and that's washing my hair while I was in the bathroom. Once I washed my body from head to toe, and I put the clothes on that I was going to wear for that day and pretty much done, then I would just put I got something right here in my face. I would put my head in the sink, and I would wash my hair with my little shampoo bottle, and then I would rinse it, and then I would do the conditioner, and then I would leave it on for a couple of minutes, and then rinse it, and then dry it with that small dry face cloth that I said. Little small for my hair because I had long hair, and my hair is naturally curly, so I would just either leave it down curly, or I would put a couple of bobby pins in and hold, one piece up, or I would put in a ponytail, kind of like I have it now. See, you can't. I would brush it back and then leave the rest curly. And so right after that, I would do my basic makeup, which is just, I would put like my foundation on, and then put, just shade in my eyebrows a little bit, and then do my little neutral brown eyeshadow and cream base, and then I do my eyeliner, put on my mascara real quick, put on and I would use that same like neutral color and use it as a blush, and then I would put my lipstick on, put my earrings. I did have earrings. That's one of the things I bought too, because I always loved earrings, is I bought just a simple pair of hoops, because I've always loved hoops. Not this big precisely, a little bit smaller, bigger than these size, but a little bit smaller than this. Put my hoops on, and then grab my stuff, make sure everything was clean and wiped off and organized, put back together, and then I would leave and go on for the rest of my day. So I just wanted to add that little part. So I'm going to really try to end this video here. It's long. There's no way I can make it any shorter, but I'm going to try to end it in this segment. I don't want it to really go over 45 minutes. But yeah, open your hearts, open your minds. Always be careful, of course, because not everybody is good people. Not everybody is honest people. You do have to be careful. Go with somebody. Don't go by yourself. Make sure you can record, just in case you think things are fishy. Don't stop in dark lit places. Just things like that. Anyway, so, yeah, I was like that, and I learned to survive. I found the places, whether it's churches, senior citizen centers, programs, donating plasma, pumping gas, cleaning their windshield. And like I said, I know it was much more easier and less scarier in my time than it is now, but it's still possible. You just have to do your research. You have to just ask questions. You have to look. Now we have technology. I didn't have any cell phone or anything like that back then. It's just word of mouth or just going up and asking. Now a lot of things, even though you're homeless, there's some homeless that have cell phones. And it doesn't mean, oh, they have a cell phone, then they don't need to be homeless. You don't know that. You still need to know their story, because they could have got one of those free cell phone services, or maybe their cell phones is just a basic 911 call, just as protection. You don't know if they have social media, and if they does, just never mind that and move forward and just give them help. And if they show you their true colors where they, they're not nice and they're not appreciative, then don't help that particular person again. But don't judge everybody for one bad person. And remember, today we could have all the money, we could have the houses and everything, and tomorrow something could happen to us like it did to me, that could put us in a bad, deep emotional breakdown or suffering, and can put us in that place. And like I said, I didn't have to be, but I needed to go through that. And so anyway, with time, this older gentleman would come by, and I would see him pass by, and it's kind of creepy at the time, but he finally stopped and said, "Hi, my name is Andy. I've been watching you for a while now, and I just feel like you don't deserve to be here. You don't belong here. Is there any way I can help?" And I said, "I don't know you. I don't want to trust you. I don't know what your intentions are." He goes, "Okay, let me prove myself." So he said, "I would like to first of all feed you." And I said, "Who said I was hungry?" And he said, "Just in case." And so I said, "How do you know? You might poison me." He said, "Okay, it was this Quarter Pounders, which today is my all-time favorite hamburger place. You go up, you order the money, you can see them cook, and then you could come to your spot and I'll go up and pay for it. That way I didn't touch it, I didn't poison you." So I said, "Okay, We did that. He goes, I see you smoking cigarettes, a little bad habit, which I've never really been a cigarette smoker, but twice in my life I have smoked for like a year, 2 years, in this case, almost 2.5. When I'm going through a really bad suffering or tragedy, it's the only way to kind of calm my nerves. Next time, God forbid, I hope I don't ever have to go through any like that type of suffering or tragedy again. But if I do, that would not be a habit I would want to pick up. I think it's nasty. I think it's disgusting. It smells bad. I like to smell good. I like to smell fresh. I don't want to be having to wash my hands, lotion my hands. I don't like that ashy smell. I like to spit up. I would spit up a lot. And it was just kind of to calm my nerves. So I think I would pick up a different kind of calmer habit. So he said, but I'll buy you cigarettes. He goes, you can go and say what you want, and then I'll pay for it. And so he did. And then he said, I don't have any children. I work for the Bay Bridge. He said, I rent out rooms. I said, I don't have money to rent a room. He said, you don't have to. He said, just stay a couple of nights just to keep warm. It's getting cold out here. That way you can get to trust me. I said, I don't know if you're going to do something to me. And so it took a while before I finally accepted his offer and would spend one night, and then months would go by. And then if it got just super cold and I just wanted just a nice comfy bed, a warm place, I would take him up on that offer. But then I got to trust him. He would cook me like a lunch or a dinner or a breakfast, whatever time I was there. And then he said, I would like to buy you clothes. I mean, you look so clean. You're so pretty. That's why I don't think you belong here, and I want to help. It had to be something emotional. I said, I don't really want to talk about it. So then he would take me to a restaurant every now and then and just get me a hot meal. And then he took me to the store one day and he got me a few blouses, some shorts, and whatever I needed for whatever season it was at that time. And so, a little bit more in my backpack, but I always wanted to make sure that it wasn't too bulky. And so he, as I got to trust him and got to know him, which took a good while, I told him my story, and then I lost my train of thought real quick. I told him my story. I told him about my family. And I said, every holiday I call my mom and I hang up. I just want to hear her voice, and I hear her crying, and I hear her saying things like, Carmen, you don't need to do this. I know you're independent, and I know that you're a survivor, and I know that you can do this on your own, but you don't have to do it. I just want to let you know I've been praying for you. Just speak. Let me know that you're alive, because I've been praying for you a lot. This part always makes me cry. And I just want to know you're alive. Your mother's alive. Your father's alive. You have a warm, comfy place. I have an extra room. You'll have your own room, your own space. I'll help you in any financial thing you need, any emotional support. We can, be close again. You're my baby. We were always close. We could do so many fun things. I can help you get through this. I know this is hard. I know this is overwhelmingly sad, and nobody deserves nothing like this, especially you. But I can help you get through with God's help, with prayers, and with my love for you. I can help you get through it. Please give me a chance. And I would hear, and I would hang up. And then I would make sure I would call her on Thanksgiving, Christmas, her birthday, just special events. Finally, I started to talk a little bit more and say, Happy Thanksgiving. Love you, Mom. And I hang up. I didn't want this video to be long. So anyway, he knew my story. He knew about my family, and how I survived, how I got the plasma and the gas station and the toiletries and the side bag and the seniors, all that good stuff. And so he goes, if you're ever ready to go home, let me know. I will pay your flight back home or your bus ticket, however you need to get there. I want to help you. And so, I said, what do you want from me? I'm like, because nobody does anything for free. And he goes, you would be shocked. There are a few good people out there, and that's me. And I don't want nothing in return. I just want to help you. I've never had kids. And if you were my daughter, I would hope somebody would do it for you, for my child. And so we developed a relationship about a year's worth of time. And finally, I said, I'm ready to go home. And I called my mom, and she said, oh my God, I'm so happy. I can't wait to see you. And I told her all about Andy, and she said, put him on the phone. And she cried, and she thanked him, and she blessed him and everything. And she said, I'll pay for the ticket back home. And I said, no. I said, Andy wants to do it as a gift to me, to us. Sorry. And so he did. And so actually my mother lived in the town that I'm living now. And I spent a week with my mother and my sister that I talked to back then, and we had a wonderful Christmas. My mother couldn't hug me enough. She couldn't pray for me enough. She couldn't cry enough. And I just like, it was one of the best times in my life. And I felt stronger. I finally got I felt like my sanity was back, and the hurt and the sadness, of course, was still there deep, but I felt like I was stronger than ever before, that I knew how to survive and I could do it on my own without anyone or anyone's help or anything. I did it independently. I researched it. I survived it. And that I could relate to other people that were out there, and that God maybe let me go through this so that in the future I would be able to understand and help people, because of my experience, and have more patience than ever before, more love than ever before, be more giving than ever before. And so, yeah, I spent a week, but my mother wanted me to stay completely, and I was not ready. We did the gifts, and I slept the best. I hadn't slept in like 3 years. I just was in heaven and at peace and so serene. But something kept telling me not quite ready to move with my mom back to this town, that I needed to do some unfinished business. I needed to prove to myself that I could stand on my 2 feet even more so. I already knew I could survive, and I knew that I could research, and that, I went through this experience, this journey, and I met a wonderful man like Andy. But I wanted to prove to myself that I could get a job, that I could, somehow find a place to stay, whether it was a studio or something like that. I ended up meeting a friend. She had a studio. Her name was Michelle. And she said, hey, it's a studio. I have a bed in the living room, but, I have a couch that you can also sleep on, or we could switch. I found a check cashing place job, and I was really happy about that. So my life started to come full circle, and it started to feel like I could breathe again, that I could live again, that life was possible, happiness was possible, peace was possible. And as far as what was taken from me, I knew that God someday would give it back to me, and that would let me deal with it however it was at that time, in the present time, and that everything would work out. So I kind of just left that situation in his hands and did what I had to do to be happy, to be at peace. And I'm glad that I really didn't go back to my mom, because a week after I got that check cashing job and was staying with my friend Michelle, I met my husband. My husband that I've been together with for 28 years, married for 25. We have 3 beautiful children. I met him that following week at the bus stop, and it was fate. He tried to tell me it was fate, and I was like, sure, just another line. But he always drove a car, but for one day his car was being fixed and he was forced to take the bus. And I always took the bus. I didn't have a car. So he goes, this is fate, Carmen. I'm like, okay, please. I've heard that line before. He goes, no, really. And his friend that was with him said, it's true. I swear to God, he drives his car. He doesn't need to catch a bus, but his car is in the shop. It's a brown car. It was being worked on today, and he had to catch the bus. And I thought, oh my God, he made me laugh so much. And we just had this deep, special connection like I've never had before. I don't know why my camera is going crazy here. And we laughed and stuff. Then I didn't see him for a month. He got my number. I didn't see him for a month. I forgot all about him. He came to my job, made me a little heart, slid it because we have bulletproof windows. We're in Oakland, in the worst part of Oakland, West Oakland. And he said, hi, Carmen. I'm like, how do you know my name? Because I hate when people know my name and I don't know you. And he goes, remember me at the bus stop? I'm like, oh, people that get people's number never call. He goes, no, I have a good reason for that. He said, I was trying to work out and still in the process of my papers, and I had to go back to Mexico to finish a part of the process. But I thought about you, and I want to take you out. And I'm like, I don't have time. I just barely came out of a really rough, sad situation. I'm finally back on my feet, got my life together. I just want to get to know myself and just be single and just live. And he goes, I can change all of that. I understand that, and I admire that, and I love you for it. I can see that you're a strong person. You're a beautiful person. I can see you're so smart. And he said, but just give me a chance. And so we went out, and the rest is history. We've been together 28 years, married for 25. We have 3 beautiful children, Aviana, Alexis, Carolina. And so God gave me back that happiness, because I didn't deserve what happened to me. I'm sure a lot of people have gone through this and they don't deserve it. I didn't deserve it at all because, like I said, I'm the most loving, giving, big-hearted, humble, honest, loyal person. I didn't do anything wrong whatsoever. I wasn't on drugs. I didn't go to prison at, that time. There was a mistake where I did go to prison for a week, which was by mistake, and the judge ended up saying he was sorry to me and everything got fixed. But I had to go through that week of hell. That's another story. But at that time, I wasn't on drugs. I didn't go to prison. I wasn't into men and putting, other things and stuff because of a man. I wasn't that type of a person. Just, I was 100% real. I mean, I'm 100% real in everything I do and everything I say. Like I said, I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but it's never intentionally or with malice. And I do have all these good qualities. Like I said, being honest, being responsible, being dedicated, loving, giving. I really do have a heart huge in my life. There's nothing I wouldn't do for my family or friends, especially my children. So yeah, so that's my story. And so everybody has a story. Just take the time, just try it at least once. Take the time to open your heart, open your mind, open your soul, pray about it. Start off with a sandwich, maybe just giving a homeless a sandwich, just saying, hi, how are you today? God bless you. It could start off with a little mini one thing, a few just words of blessing, of inspiration. You could give them a journal, because I love journaling since I was a kid, and journaling has got me through a lot of suffering, a lot of stuff. So, yeah, that's my story, but I'm happy that God didn't forget me and that he blessed me even more so, more than ever before. And I have an amazing husband. I have amazing children, beautiful children who are loving, appreciative, respectful, giving, all those qualities that I always had in me that I wanted my children. They have it. And so, I'm so very blessed and so thankful to be alive, thankful for my husband, thankful for my children, thankful to be able to even just share my journey with you. So that's it for now. I'm about to end this. So yeah, and thankful to Andy. Oh, there was a part that I forgot. Oh my God. And so once I met my husband and we were together, we lived together for 3 years. That's why I said we've been together 28 years, married for 25. I would have been so mad if I forgot this part. It's going to go this might be an hour-long video, but it'll be worth it. Trust me. And so, yeah, so I went back home. Then I came back, met my husband. The rest is history. But, when I had my first child with my husband, I had told my husband all about Andy. My mom wanted to meet Andy to thank him. So we went to Andy's house and I said, Andy, it's me. He was getting older. In fact, he had an accident. He was a toll collector on the bridge, and I guess they had put the red lights on as emergency to stop the cars. Well, one car didn't stop and hit him and threw him up in the air, and he was all messed up. And because he was older in age, he couldn't go back to work. And so I was sorry to hear that. But he looked at me and he's like, who is it? I'm like, Andy, don't you remember me? It's Carmen. He's like, Carmen. I mean, like he said, when you were out in the streets, everybody could see that you didn't look like you belonged on the street because you were so clean and so pretty and just so prepared and organized. You could just tell. But, of course, to see me a little bit, I still was skinny, but you can see the fullness in my face and the star in my eyes, I guess. I just looked happy and I was radiant with happiness. And so he goes, oh my God, Carmen. I said, I want you to meet my family, Andy. So he let us in. My mother got on her knees. She cried. She said, thank you for everything you did for my daughter. I will forever be grateful. If you ever need anything. My mother was just an amazing woman beyond words. And then my husband thanked him and he said, thank you very much. He said, all this is for a reason. And you were part of how I met Carmen, because of your help and how things just happened. And he said, and I just love Carmen and I'm so blessed and lucky to have her. And I told Andy, I said, look what I got right here. And he's like, a baby. I'm like, my baby. I said, God did not forget me. He blessed me 10 times fold. He knew I was going through the suffering and that I didn't deserve it, but he didn't forget me. He let me go through the journey and the experience and being able to survive and having to suffer a little bit. But I know he was always with me, even in that suffering. Like they say, if he brings you to it, he'll bring you through it. And he said, she's the most, and my daughter was. I'll put a picture on the cover photo so you can see. All my kids were beautiful when they were born. My son, he had a little time stressing coming out, so At first he was like the comb thing type of shit, but then within hours he was beautiful, and he's beautiful to this day. He was only when they kind of stressed coming out, but my daughters are like just beautiful, and it's not because it's my daughters, because I'm honest. I've seen some babies and I'm like, no, but they turn out really cute. It's just that stressful first hours, but my girls are so cute. But anyway, so she was all in pink, her little pink headband, her little pink dress and stuff. And I wanted a girl so bad. And God even let me have that gift. And he goes, she's adorable, Carmen. She's so precious. I'm so happy. You look happy. I can feel I can feel the vibe of your happiness. You look at peace. You have a nice looking husband. Your mother, she's just so beautiful and amazing. He said, I'm glad to have been a part of this. You know, God puts you in different places and different positions just at the right time to meet people. And you never know what your journey is. And then God kind of lets you see it, places you in that right place at the right time with the right person. And I was, you know, I'm so glad you didn't trust me off bat, and that you just really relented and defended yourself and protected yourself. But I'm glad that you kept an open mind and you opened your heart to me, and you allowed me to help you in whatever way I was able to help you. And, you know, I'm glad that I wasn't, you know, I said, you were an angel sent, Andy. That's just no. He goes, okay, I'll take it. I was your angel, and I'm glad that God allowed me to be that for you, and that your whole life is full circle and you're so happy. God bless your baby. And I was like, oh, Andy, thank you so much. God bless you. And so we saw each other. I think that was the last time we saw each other. We kept in contact over phone, you know, how you doing? How's your leg? Because his leg was busted. But somehow we lost contact, and I don't even remember how or why. And I'm sure that he didn't pass away at that time. I'm sure he's passed away now, because he was like almost in his 70s, and that was 30 years ago. So he would be 100 or 100 plus now. So, but I would really like one day to find out where his gravesite is. He used to live on Seminary in Oakland, and his name was either Andy Bivens or Andy Givens. I really believe it's Givens, but it's something in the Ivens. And I hope to one day do some research and find him. I know I'm not going to find him alive, but if I could at least find his gravesite and visit it and just honor him and, you know, visit him and say, hey, I never forgot you. Look at my family now. Now I have a son and another daughter, and I'm still with my husband for 28 years. And my mom is gone too, Andy, but I know that she's seeing you in heaven and she's thanking you again. So that's kind of what I want to do. I just don't want to give up. And I baffle my mind trying to remember how I know that was the last time, but I don't remember the last phone conversations. I'm pretty sure he didn't die while I knew it. I think is when we lost communication. I just figured through the years with his age, he's gone. So yeah, so that's my story of my life as a homeless. And I hope that you understand my experience and my journey, and that this will open your heart and your mind and your soul to giving one homeless, if not more, a chance, hear their stories. Or you can just wait for Christmas time and do a gift basket for each of them, or just give them one package of Top Ramen, a pair of socks as a gift, a throw. And it doesn't have to be new things. It doesn't have to be expensive things. There's a lot of dollar things, $2 for $1 things. We have the Dollar Tree store, the 99-cent store now. So there's so many choices and opportunities. It could be something that you're not using at home, especially blankets or jackets or gloves or socks. Wash them. Pass them out around Christmas time or Thanksgiving time, or just any time that you have a moment. Please don't judge people. Please. The Bible says, judge not for you be judged. I know a lot of times I'm very vocal and I'm like, this person is evil. This person is just terrible. I don't like this person's ways, and I'm going to be against that and defend that. It's not judging. It's just speaking up and defending for what is right, what is human, what is good, what is peaceful. But just judging to be just judgmental is not good. So just ask God to open your heart. How can I help, Lord? Can I just give them a journal? Maybe they need to express their feelings. Can I give them a pair of gloves, a pair of socks, or old blankets that I have? Anything you could think of. It could be one thing. It could be just a sandwich that you made at home, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you go and pass those out. That's a great thing. Toiletries. Maybe a small thing of toothpaste like I had, a toothbrush, a bar of soap, Now they have the body washes. You can buy them a little travel size, which doesn't cost you. I'm trying to give you all kinds of ideas, and I'm sure there's tons more that I could come up with. But just to give you a little idea of how you can be inspirational and how you can help. And you never know someone's story. And yes, I didn't have to be homeless, but I had to be. I hope you really heard what I said and you know that I had to be. For my peace of mind and my sanity and to be able to get back on my feet, I had to do this. And I'm glad that I did do this. My mother understood it afterwards. She was just glad to see me alive and healthy and back with her. And the few years that we had together, more after that. Well, actually, my mother died in 98, so we got back, kind of through 90. My thing was 87 through 90. So those were the 3 years. And then we had to 98 when my mom passed away. But it was the most intense, deep, fun, loving, big giving years of our life. Plus I was a baby, so I had prior years before that. But yeah, so I said I wouldn't go too long. I'm already almost at the hour. So just be blessed, be happy, be at peace, be blessed, and check out those van lifing. Most of it's van lifing. Check it out, see what it's about. You're gonna love it. I love it. I can't stop watching them. I'm obsessed. Susie Cruz is my number one. There's Emin and Beck. There's Max and Lee, Jinty Fell. Man, I can't think of all of them right now, but check those out and many, 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 many more. So yeah, so check those out and just see, that type of lifestyle right now. Like I said, look into the homeless type of thing. Not anybody wakes up and says, I'm going to be homeless today. There's a story behind everybody. And even if that person is lazy, give them a sandwich. It'll make you feel good, So, yeah. So, that's it. I'm sorry that this video was long. I was really trying. I was trying to find ways to not make it long, but there was no other choice. That was my story. So, yeah. So, until my next video, stay blessed. Love you guys.